We got 7:09. We should probably get rolling here. It is March 31st, the end of the quarter, 2022, and we're going to finish up our review of some of the nifty sets that were available at our last event. And thanks to all who helped us have a successful event, and thanks to all who came out to look and see and buy, hopefully, and take a few things home. So we will pick up where we left off from the last meeting, and appreciate your comments, questions, reactions to some of the photos we'll be showing, and maybe somebody will say, "Hey, I bought that one." You know, you never know. So
yeah, that could be the
I
case.
think you need another one.
Yeah, that's right. Or maybe preview what might be available at Spring Brookline. All right. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll share my screen. We'll pick up where we left off from the last meeting. Here we go. If everybody can see that okay. This is the picture we left off at the last.
There we go.
I took a lot of photos, so some I'll skip and spend a lot of time on. There was a lot of good stuff here, so I took a lot of pictures, more than we'll probably get through, realistically, but you never know. At any rate, this is just a setup. I'm just going to skip by that one. This one was just snapping away. An early Crossley. Once, see if we can get it up. This is serial number. That's actually pretty cool. Regenerative receiver, model 51. I don't think I've seen this first one I've ever seen of these.
One of those rare ones that
doesn't
have a cassette player
condition.
put in the side of it.
Yeah, yeah.
They made one of those 51. There's a letter after it that also was longer in the back, and it had the space for batteries to hold the batteries. So they made a few model 51s.
Oh, is that right? Interesting.
Yeah.
This one's in primo shape. This has 51. I don't think it's anything else after it, but yeah, it's really, really in fine shape. There were lots of TOs at this show, and this one's a nice one. But looked quite complete. Very nice. I guess it's a bomber radio. But nice little Emerson. Everything looks complete. It looks like it was a restoration, nicely done. Very nice shape.
Looks like a very well, nicely repainted case. Huh?
Yeah, everything looks like it was repainted. It was very nicely done. Very, the decal is all there. It's really quite nice little nifty little radio. Perfect.
I recently had a friend of mine who was doing some woodwork and carpentry and cleaning for a fellow. He gave me a very neat little Emerson, similar vintage, and it was an extremely cold day when he came in to give it to me. Make a bigger crack and a Baker-like radio, but I've offered it in a form I belong to as a freebie. Haven't had any takers. You may see it on the free table coming soon. The chassis is mint. It's clean. It's in great shape. All original. Nice antenna. But the case is Spain patterned, as so many of these can be, and if you even want to play it out of the case on a shelf, it could be a pretty cool little set. But those Emersons, despite the size, seem to really boom on AM. Nice little sets.
Okay.
Yep.
But you've been acknowledged.
But yeah, this is quite a nice little radio. There's lots of these examples. Wow. Oh, another Xena TO. As I recall, this may be a 5000. I think I have the same unit. This looks very nice, complete shape. Some of the last are really good ones. See, oh, Collins, there we go. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of you folks like Gary and Carl would be recognize this immediately. Also,
51G3.
sorry.
To
yeah.
Collins.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yep. 5-1.
How many pounds?
Yeah,
How many, how much does that weigh?
yeah. You don't need to
They
go to the
tie
gym.
that to your leg before they throw you in the East River.
That's a portable. What are you talking?
Oh, it's a portable. That's right. Yeah,
There we go. Yeah, 51J,
You pull it out of the
51J3. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, it's really quite
Might
nice.
might it be a 51J4? Because I think I see,
Oh, you're right. There it
Selectivity.
is. There it is. 51J4. You called it there, Gary. I'm not sure, but you might even say it on the. It's hard to read. I think the paperwork is actually the better way to go here. But yeah, very nice shape. Oh, here is a.
even with a lot of the stuff we looked at last time, there's, I'm sure, some pent up demand for buying, but it looks like there's a lot of pent up demand for selling. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff is extremely clean and sharp looking. You don't,
Yeah.
sometimes at the shows you see a lot of stuff that you say, borderline basket case.
Yeah.
Really haven't seen much of anything that falls into that category. A lot of really sharp looking, clean, nice stuff.
I agree that, the big shows are always very good with a lot of quality stuff consistently, but this one brought it to another level. I was impressed. That's why I took so many photos. There's just so many opportunities. I could not take photos. It was crazy. But I mean, and the radios I rarely see, like, example, this little Stuart Warner Air Pal, right? This is the first one I remember ever seeing. This little radio, unusual design, and really nice. It was restored. It's got all the decals. It was all nicely done. Nifty little radio. If you want something unusual,
That almost looks like one of those that kind of drops into a chair side cabinet, or am I thinking of a different make? But there's a definite chair side that I know you can take the radio out of the chair side to bring it with you somewhere else. But
Really.
Yeah, that was the Westinghouse. Westinghouse.
Okay, it was not Stuart Warner. It was Westinghouse.
Ah,
Okay.
Kind of looks a little familiar, similar, maybe related to the Dion, the Quince, I think that was a Stuart Warner. Though the knobs are a little bit different for the controls, but the case looks very similar.
yeah, it does.
It probably
Very
has one of those inverted chassis,
Yeah, it's rather
Nice
compact.
stuff. I mean, that's an oldie, and look at that, just a few flea bites. That's
Yeah,
really
minor
nice
stuff.
shape.
Yeah, not one you get
Just
too
leave it like
aggressive.
it is. Leave it
Yeah,
alone.
I'm with you there. It's a nice GE, nice cabinet, and everything was just really handsome little radio.
And even those little budget GEs, just the marbleized look, the dial is nice. That's a sharp little set. Cute.
Yeah,
Nice
exactly.
thing is they take up, you could have one console or 10 of those. So think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, very attractive
You
radio.
could have one of those in 10 consoles.
That's the Noah way.
Well, when I moved to Oklahoma and I live in a Quonset hut, I'll remember that, John.
There you go. Yeah, this is a realistic, and it's sitting on top of this nice little RCA Victor.
That's a
Handsome little radio.
funky RCA. You don't see that very often, huh? It
Yeah,
has the RCA and the Nipper logo on the front.
yeah,
That's really sharp.
I know. I
It's
mean,
a
I
very
don't know.
deco looking little Haven't seen one of those, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's the theme I saw a lot of the show. A lot of unusual pieces, you know, even what I call the mainstream names. A lot of, you know, there's some of the lesser models, and then we had a lot of lesser models, you know, lesser makes. Um, but nifty little. Oh, I got a close up on this one. I think it said it was deserved a better shot, so I got it a little bit better. But yeah, really nice little.
The case is in great shape. That's an oldie. That's probably like 1940, 1939. I like
Yeah.
that little kind of step down case, you know. that's
Yeah,
very
right.
sharp.
Yeah, yeah, very nice little radio. Absolutely. Yep, Victrola, also very nice shape. This was someone's radio chassis out. I think the cabinet was in a subsequent shot here. I'm trying to remember which manufacturer this is. Any guesses, anybody?
I don't know. The blue chassis is kind of funky. I don't know if that's a repaint or.
It looks like a Cadet. Cadet used blue chassis. It might be a Cadet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't see anything obvious from the. See nothing on the front face, the dial
From
face.
the tube types, it looks like an old
Yeah,
tube. You know, that's like a mid to late 30s.
yeah, for sure. This might be the cabinet. I'm not 100% sure, but it might be right for this, given the square, but I could be wrong. Oh, I see no head shaking no, so maybe not. Maybe it's just a.
Well, it's got 4 controls and it's got 4 control knob holes. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is
Mount the speaker over on the left, and yeah, maybe.
It's hard to say.
what is the brand name at the bottom of the cabinet? Can you the cabinet
there we
you
go.
showed? The brand
Oh yeah, there
name.
something. Regis.
St. Regis.
St. Regis.
St. Regis. That sounds like a private label for, you know,
It's the
department
EJ
store.
Corvette version.
Right. Maybe. There was a Dodge, but yeah.
Was that all those radios, private labels? What were they? Factory A or Factory B? They came out of like an old Warwick factory or something.
Detrola made hundreds of private label for anyone, department stores. And if you ever see if you don't know who made a certain radio, if you look at the plate on the back, if it says DRC Detroit in small letters on the plate, that means it's a Detrola radio. They made hundreds of private labels.
Well, the neat thing is that this looks like someone who's in the middle of a restoration and is selling it, whether they be completed or not.
Yeah, the case is nice. I don't know if I would put the chassis on top without like a little piece of fabric. Or, I mean, you know.
Exactly.
Let's scratch it up so you can refinish it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or at least stuff it inside the case for the sake of the sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure what the pastry is.
Different strokes.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Anyway, neat stuff. Well, this is kind of fun. A radio ace. It's a very simple one tuber. Little headphone jack. It was kind of cool. I know nothing about these, but it's just a more recent kit, but it actually shows well despite. Well worth the photo because I've never seen one before. Another Zenith, a little portable. This might have been this. I can't remember if this is Mike's table or not, but you can tell like carrying handles a little bit cooked, so needs some work, but still, you know, it's salvageable. Oh, I thought this was funny. This was one of the sellers, you know. I said to Shanola, there's the radio carcass sale. pretty funny. Well worth the photo. That was-
Well, I'm glad I didn't see that.
You glad to see that? This one here?
Just that whole area, if it was, you know, a radio.
Carcass R Us, right, John? Yeah, that
I
was,
like the name on the top of the sign.
yeah, exactly.
Scheiß to Scheinola.
Exactly.
Not to be
If they're covering the range,
confused with Caracas.
it was
Yes.
basically the idea, it was covering the range. But,
So like all those eBay ones you see that say, you know, working / not working, untested. Well, okay, it hasn't been tested, so like, why didn't you test it? Probably because it's not working.
Worked when new.
Yeah, worked when new. Hopefully,
45 years ago.
1937. Yeah, that's right. What do you got? A little Crossley there, and maybe an RCA underneath.
yeah, it looks, yeah, it's an RCA for sure. Actually neat unit in its own way.
Nice detail on the cabinet.
Yeah, actually very nice. I thought it was actually rather attractive.
You
Looks,
know, and those
looks-
usually run into like problems with the scutcheons and push buttons, and they look pretty much
they look complete.
in good shape. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
shrink, you know.
And then yes, a
Looks
little
like that hole on the left-hand side was, what was that for? Eye tube? What the heck was that all about?
Oh, yeah.
I
Scotcha.
too know.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they have
I'd
to,
say, yep.
The other side shows what band you're on.
Thank
Lights
you,
up with
Greg.
the push button tuning.
So you're saying this
I
one?
worked in one of those ones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that one will say push button when you have it in that position on the band switch. And the one on the left is an eye tube.
Very
They're
interesting.
kind of tricky to work on because you have to unhook the pointer, the needle, to get the chassis out. It's hooked around the bezel inside the cabinet, so you're kind of fighting to get the chassis out. Almost have to take the string off to get the chassis out.
Oh, crazy. Crazy. This, I mean, it looks pretty salvageable
Yeah.
overall. I mean, it looks complete. You know, yes, it needs some cabinet work, but it's not, it's by far from being a basket case. Yeah,
Wonder
probably,
if that one on top isn't a
I
Stromberg.
was gonna say, it looks like a Stromberg Hippo wannabe. I don't know.
Yeah,
that could be.
I think it's a Stromberg Carlson.
You're probably right. Oh, no,
Oh,
no,
it's
it
Crosley.
says
Little thing
Crosley.
on
That's a
top. What's
Crosley.
that- What's that little piece of,
Yep, it is.
I'm not sure what this is.
you're
Right.
there with a Crossley.
Yes, it,
Looks like somebody added a handle. to
That's
it.
the
Could
nightlight.
be. On that
Oh, the
light.
nightlight. Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure.
It's plexiglass.
I phoned it up. I don't know.
Our fearless, I think I know Ned is on right now with Jim.
I'll get him now.
And our front table, just before the cows came rolling in the herd, was released into the wild. Oh.
They
it's
do a
like-
great job.
they do a great job, and we had a particularly successful show. So thanks for all their help there, in making it happen and keeping things organized as they always do. Here's a nice Marantz receiver. Just grab a shot there. You don't see these too often. Northern Electric. Nice little cabinet. I like the cabinet on it. Nice little waterfall.
As
That
opposed
little
to Western
waterfall
Electric.
type look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Those are cool. Wasn't nice.
This, in fact, yeah, this particular vendor had a lot of, all his tabletops are just really nice shape. I mean, nicely restored. I'm assuming they're restored. They just
Yeah, it
really,
looks like a new dial cover. So
yeah,
you know, that looks like it's had some work, polished up. Very
yeah. But all his radios were, ready to go as far as I could tell. You could just take them home and play them. Nice Zenith.
pancakes.
Yeah. pancakes. Yeah, nice little unit. That's also the same vendor. All his radios, really nice.
Yeah. That looks like it's the original one too, not the reproduction with the. cassette
Yeah,
machine.
exactly. It's not none of these Crosley knockoffs. That looks like the real deal.
Mhm.
And I want to say, is this an RCA? What do you guys think?
Belmont, or maybe a airline made a similar version,
Maybe an airline.
but there's no decal, so maybe a repaint. I don't know.
Airline or Belmont?
There's two with rubber bands.
They're ready.
No. Nice little
The
radio.
case looks, for a white case, awful clean, so I'm gonna guess maybe the decal got lost in the.
Yeah.
If there was one, I don't know.
Maybe they could have to go up to Radio Days or somebody to see if they can get it on the decal. But yeah, I thought it was an attractive radio. Nevertheless. Oh, here's this nice little
That
Majestic.
look.
That's a nice
Yeah,
little
those are
radio.
sharp.
You
I
know,
don't know if those knobs are original, but the rest of the radio is extremely clean.
yeah, exactly. Now, is this a twin speaker? You know, I see the grill, or is that just a symmetric, single speaker symmetric grill?
I think it's a one speaker, but they kind of, there's a couple of sets that do that. They look like they have two, but they only have one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering
There's
about
a
that.
Philco that has same type of thing. Looks like it has, yeah. I think they do it for symmetry on the cabinet,
Yeah.
but it's not really a two.
Like the
speaker set.
Philco Butterfly.
Hmm.
Is the
Yes.
one-
Yeah, that's a good point, Greg. Yeah. Oh, here's this nice little True Tone. I thought it was really
Wow.
quite sharp. I mean, look at it. I love that dial face. That's nice two-tone dial face. Two-tone
Those
and
keep
True Tone.
selling for like more and more money every year. I don't know why. I mean, it's a little 6-tuber, but that's in particularly nice shape too.
Yeah, I think it. It really does look nice. But I think the picture doesn't really do it justice. You see in person, it's just a really, really
When
catchy
the dial is lighted, they look really sharp.
I bet.
The way they do that red area inside the
Yeah. So like a red copper.
station
Yeah,
numerals, it really pops. It kind of gives it a little dimensionality. Yeah, those are sharp.
exactly. It really.
I think it's the same chassis. They put that in a few different types of cases.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Whoever was making the Trutrons, maybe Detroit.
Emerson.
That's a nice little Emerson, huh?
Yeah, very sharp. No, really sharp little Emerson.
Spring back handle.
Yeah, exactly. Very compact, but again, very attractive. Dial face is quite attractive on this too. I love, I love all these bridges, all classic, deco style there. Nice little radio. Same vendor.
Pointed bullet knob. Those are nice too.
Yeah.
They're pretty good receivers too. I mean, I have one. A lot of them. Emerson is a classic example of same chassis, different case,
Mm,
and even without any type of like a Turk or a select antenna, they're pretty good sets. It's surprising.
mm.
Some of the speakers are pretty big too. They go up to like 5 inches.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty sizable. Oh,
And
Here's
they
the-
made a gazillion.
The Hippo.
There you go.
Hippo. Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds
Nice
nice.
little 6-tube. Pretty good set.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Same vendor.
Case is nice, not a lot of scratches.
No.
Usophonic. GE.
Yeah. This is neat. Interesting color too. Sort of this tan apple red.
And the apple red.
I'm not sure if that's the original color, something like that. I had wondered that, but it's still.
No, they did some of those. Very 50s. Very 50s.
And
Yeah.
a phono jack in the rear.
Yeah.
You could hook in your coffee pot and your phonograph.
Oh yeah, you're right. Exactly. Exactly right. There it is.
Because most of them had that little jack you could plug in your
Right.
electric Hamilton Beach electric percolator.
Exactly. I've got my Stuart Warner that I bought from last spring Brookline. It's got that very feature. Actually, I haven't verified whether it works or not, but the plug, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I think the risk is now if it's not well done, you could, have 2 or 3 items connected to it that would like light up in flames.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
you out of
Fire
bed in the
starter.
morning, hopefully.
yeah,
Fire starter.
right. I'm not looking to try that. That's
Comes with a smoke detector with every one sold.
free fire. Fire,
Yeah, I'll
fire
buy it if you plug it in at your house first.
exactly. Yeah. Another nice Emerson. I think it was the same. Yeah, same vendor. You can see the GEs to the right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice little dial face, tractable radio.
Interesting where they put the logo
Yeah,
there off to the left. Yeah.
that is. Yeah, it's a good point, Greg. But it looks like the correct place. But
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
but
See,
yeah,
Use that dial on a couple of sets. Interesting. Jersey City, New Jersey, one of the Emerson buildings where they manufactured has been condoed.
Huh.
Because apparently Jersey City is now close enough to Manhattan that it's desirable. So for all those who ran away screaming probably in the
yeah.
70s and 80s,
Well,
we're back to Jersey City in the Emerson building. I don't know if they left one of the signage up like they did with the Nipper building down in Camden that they condoed, but yes, you can live in the Emerson factory. Imagine that. Perfect set for those who live in there.
Each unit is equipped with 300 ohm twin lead.
That's right.
there you go. That'd actually be. I hope they would.
After the renovation, you probably couldn't receive a damn thing on a little AM radio, but that's another
No,
story.
yeah, exactly. That is true.
More stray RF in there than you could probably shake a stick out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all those crushable cities becoming the place to be. Newark, all of those things. Give it time.
Parts of the Bronx now are getting
Uh-huh.
desirable.
Yeah, uptown Manhattan, all of
Manhattan is 2x, muy expensavo.
You can still get a great deal in Bridgeport.
yeah,
Yes.
I suspect so.
Especially if it has one of those signs that says DEP, toxic site. I heard those are going cheap.
Right. Yes.
Like out in Pittsfield with the GE factories.
Right, exactly. But
Echophone.
Echophone, not something you see very often.
Here, keep shutting off.
Any mail?
Yeah, it's right here.
But yeah, neat.
Nice on that is that it has an internal speaker because a lot of those don't. You have to use a headset or have an
Yeah,
external.
yeah, it's just right on top there. Yeah, that was
Navy
again
gray.
not something you see very often. So it was a good one. But Stromberg Carlson chassis.
Mm.
I don't know anything about it
What does
because
that belong to? That would be a good question, huh?
yeah, I'd wondered that. What this is controlling. I have no idea what this is for. But I thought if I took a photo, someone might say, "Hey, I know."
It's
Well,
got a
anything you
gain
want.
Switch. That's
Anything you want. It's got low and high sensitivity. It's got a little jumper between phono and input, so it's got a
I took a
it's
Stromberg
got two different impedances and a gain control.
Looks
The
like
chicken-
two metal
the chicken
6L6s
knobs.
too.
Do you
Yeah.
think? Do you think that was like in a some type of a like a record player radio?
Oh,
kit,
you might-
or-
Yeah, I think it was a separate standalone unit. I think that's how it was sold, right? Like that like a separate PA type unit.
Maybe.
I took one out of a switch box. That was some kind of a building intercom system. It was a big rack thing with switches for each different unit, I guess. And I took an amp. It was bigger than that one, but it had the same Stromberg Carlson, the coloring and the knobs. And I tore the amp out of that, and I used it for gave it to my son as a guitar.
Right.
amp. but.
Well,
that
look,
was-
look at the audio output transformer
Yeah.
on the right rear
Yeah.
there. That's not your typical,
Yeah,
just piece of junk, you know.
Right, yeah, it's probably 600 ohm output
Yeah.
too.
A pretty hefty power transformer too.
The one that
yeah,
I
I know,
picked
look
up
at this, yeah.
had a huge output like that. And I think it could have driven 6 or about 100 speakers, through these different switches. It was some kind of like a patch panel or a switch panel for an operator. And it pumped in music, I
John?
guess.
Quick comment. Got 3 emails from people who said they couldn't get into the Zoom.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
More internet
apparently-
issues.
well,
Oh.
I had no problem, but the line was right at the bottom of your email. But some people are saying they've searched the emails, they can't find it, etc. So
Can
if you
someone,
can
I can, I can resend. I actually logged off with my Yahoo. Is anyone logged in the email accounts that could reblast that? Otherwise, I can log back in. I logged out just to avoid any bandwidth consumption by the other apps while I'm doing Zoom. They couldn't get in, so they could not find Adrian. They could not find the email with the link.
yeah, that's
All right. Well, let me see if I
I'll read you one.
see if I can't fix that quickly. I might be able to do it from my phone. That saves me a little bit of time. Let's see if we can get that rectified. Here.
Yeah, it was pretty clear on your email. So that's
Yeah.
it's in a different place from where you normally put it. That's all.
I'm
I'm trying
it was
to find those that.
yeah, it's strange because it was it looks like oh wait. You know what, the problem is it's the it's the wrong email. It should be here on my, where am I not seeing on my? Here we go. Oh, it should be, yeah. Yeah, it's right there.
John, if I can interrupt for just a second, it
Yeah.
took me a while to find the email too. I was in a bit of a panic.
Oh, okay.
So
No
at least
panic.
1 or 2 of those emails would be from and problem solved, obviously. You just got to read all the emails.
Yeah, okay. I'll resend anyway.
Click on the button that says like 3 more included, that type of thing.
I'm resending them nevertheless.
Hey, here's a question for the group. Why is that transformer so tall? Why is it on some sets you see these very tall transformers, but on others you see them, half or a quarter of the size, they're almost flush to the chassis?
Because they're bigger.
Right? More power.
To stop with the technical
Because if they
explanation.
weren't that
please.
high, they would
Yeah.
be much wider.
That's
Because they
right.
can go up to 11.
11 and a half.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next item. Which is this charming Kenwood stereo amplifier we have for your consideration with a $250 donation to WGBH. We'll put this in your mailbox in less than a week.
We'll throw it at your
Amplifier
Look at
house.
that with
and tuner.
manuals up on the top and everything too,
Yeah.
huh? That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think that's that same guy though, John, because I see the Emerson in the corner there,
Yeah.
right? So he had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Marantz.
It wasn't.
I actually have 2 of those sets. One's in Vermont and one's in Maryland, and they are terrific amplifiers and radios. They never quit.
Well, that's good to hear. They're good money these days too.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I have no
I've
idea.
I
had it
recently
probably
acquired a little
40 years.
Techniques. It looks a little beat up. It's I think an SD 210A, and it's one of the first digital quartz, 1983. But it's interesting. Some of the sound you still crank out of these is damn good. In a digital world, I love those analog tuners too.
Yeah.
Nothing like that feel.
Yeah, and in that era, they always had nice backlighting. Some of these were white, but some of them had the bluish colors. I'm not sure what Kenwood used. I just don't remember offhand. But
I had a nice Kenwood that I used to drive a pair of TDC speakers with it. I could not tell you for the life of me where it is. I could not tell you. Might be here in the same building. I could not
Those are,
find it.
the analog ones are especially good if you have your own analog FM transmitter to, broadcast your own program material, because you can get to, 102.0, which none of the digital ones will go to. So.
Yeah. No,
That's awful clean too. That's a nice one.
Yeah. No, everything this vendor had was really nice stuff.
Yeah. Didn't spend a lot of time in a college dorm.
Yeah. Right.
No beer smell.
No.
When you turn it on, cooking up off the board.
Yeah.
That's a cutie.
Yeah, it's just nice little Emerson. It looks like a little alarm clock style. Yeah, I thought it was really clever. I assume the speaker's right here behind this grill, and just a neat little unit. Really attractive. Model I've never seen before. But,
Looks like an original case too, because those numerals are in great shape, and the case is.
Yeah, I agree.
Very clean.
It struck me that there was, Emily, you see just a little fading here. I would say
Something Warden June Cleaver would listen to the morning news.
Exactly.
Before they went out to look for the beaver.
The only station you can get those WRKO. So.
Yeah. Here's a Nakamichi and a Pioneer just stacked over each other.
Too many knobs. Oh, that Nakamichi.
I know. You're looking at, look, if you like knobs though, you like to turn and twiddle with it.
It's a cassette deck, but it has more controls than the Mercury capsule has.
I was thinking about that. It's like climbing into like the space shuttle and having
all those controls don't do a damn thing if you don't have the right belts and rubber wheels to make your cassette deck work.
You have to have, it's your CRO2 and your bias control and your pre-emphasis and your de-emphasis and everythation, your Dolby.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
So you could play the cassette you bought at Woolworth.
Right. There's your bias. You got to have your calibration and your 15 kilohertz bias, and
presuming everything.
Look at you,
like
even have
Maxell.
Look at azimuth control.
I know. This feels like it does belong in the shuttle, or the Mercury.
Master fader. Oh yeah.
The master fader.
Yeah, after a few beers.
Yeah.
That's overwhelming to me. We never made it in my college.
No, well, it depends. You had to be in an engineering school. That was for the real. That's the double E.
Somebody at Rensselaer or
WPI. These were like all over the place.
Yeah, RPI, WPI. Yeah. And look how simple this Pioneer is
by
comparison. Granted, it's downright mundane.
Whatever happened to like press and play?
Yeah.
On my Snoopy boom box.
Yeah, exactly.
AM FM cassette.
Metal oxide, chromium dioxide.
Oh God.
Oh right, I remember that. I forgot about that. Actually,
gotta have all the different controls.
Yep.
To listen to your King Crimson tapes and
exactly,
the ultimate format.
Exactly.
You should see the one that's auto reverse. This isn't even auto reverse.
Oh,
another 30 knobs to control that. Yeah.
It was meant for people who did not indulge in Europe in the day, right?
No, it was exactly meant for them, and they never really played a tape. They just kept touching the knobs.
That's right.
Never really listen to anything.
Never hit the power
No.
button. Why can't I get anything out of
No.
this? It's not lighting
I think I
up.
saw one of these in the background of a Dragnet episode about LSD.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's correct.
Yep. There's one of
There
that
he is.
was the vendor who was selling all these great radios that it took just earlier.
I mean, I give him 5 points just for having like that nice
I
custom.
I like that
you
little
know,
custom
wooden
Shelby
display.
in
That's
there.
right. That's right.
Yeah. In fact,
Probably a frustrated retailer. Probably worked at Tech Hi-Fi.
No, that's totally like he flunked wood shop. So he went into electronics.
Who is that
Right.
seller?
I'm not sure.
I
Yeah.
know, are we all sitting around making fun of a club member here, or what are we doing?
He got a Triumph. Maybe he was the guy with the nice little white Triumph 2-seater out front. You know, I don't know.
I don't know. How do you get
He does-
all?
They could
It
also
looks like a
stuff-
familiar.
You don't get
gent,
all
though. He
that
had some neat
equipment into a
stuff.
Triumph.
No, I tell you what though. So I mean, for a table, I mean, all of those look very desirable. You know, I
there
mean,
isn't-
You know, there's really
there was
nothing there
not.
you would say, I'm gonna go in and give him half the price. You know. I'll
Yeah,
see what
right.
I can do.
Yeah.
I
no,
think
there
he took them all home.
maybe. You know, I didn't.
So
really look at
the
prices.
stereo stuff, the more modern tuner amp stuff, you know, might have gone. But I'm surprised if he had a turntable there for the for that nice little tuner and stereo amp thing
Yep.
device. You know, he would have probably sold it as a set.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, he had a great
Needed
table.
Anyway.
needed a pair of ohm Fs or something on either end of the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple of calves.
A national.
Where do you put
Navy
the
gray.
quarter in?
That's a classic little. It's pretty small by.
I put the quarter in, and then the whole thing went up in flames. I don't know what I did wrong. You know, it's just like the laundromat.
Yeah. But
National though, they were based out of Massachusetts, weren't they? Alden,
were they?
Yep.
I think so. Did anybody think those knobs, John? You go forward to that first, the next picture after the National.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Something
like
looks
one of the
wrong.
things on Sesame Street. One of these things does not belong.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they get the knobs?
Yeah. This is a
Multiple transistor radios.
Farnsworth. This is a I was wondering what this was. Farnsworth. But with
Oh.
yes, very sad looking.
Panasonic knobs from
I know.
1968.
It is kind of like.
Well, you know, they're knob vendors. You know, you gotta have something
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Well, I guess it
Well, that gives the new owner something to do.
right.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be too easy, right? If everything worked when you brought it home, what would the fun be?
The cabinet's otherwise, you know, in serviceable shape. You know, probably it's just some light, you know, clean up a little bit. You know, up in the right.
Looks like it has a pretty decent sized speaker off to the
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, the right. That's one of those chassis with the speaker to the side, and yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
sharp.
Nice in this little area. If you could find some knobs, you make it, you know, and brighten it up. You know, do a little bit of, you know, do something on the cabinet. And you'd have a pretty nice little radio.
You
Oh.
just get another radio and put it on top of it.
Yeah,
Right.
you can see from the
Bruce?
top. You can see the upper area looks a little haggard. Not, you know, not awful. You know,
I'll get the steel wool, and you'll be all set.
yeah. But his little portable phonograph again. Not sure what make. Or another TO. Like there'll be plenty of those throughout the photos. It looks in solid shape overall. Another one. Another big. This one pretty nice shape overall as well. And yet another one. There are plenty of TOs this meeting. I thought this was kind of interesting. We'll go cross dot linearity generator. Just in case you needed one.
Black lines and white dots.
That's right.
Best offer takes it away.
Is this Emerson? I forget who makes this.
Little Emerson, same dial as that
Yep.
other little
Yeah, I
round
was
one,
gonna
but
say, it
the pointer
looked-
looks like it.
Yeah,
Pointer look like might have took a beating there,
yeah. Something went
Looks
wrong.
like a smoke.
kind of like a broken finger.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So, like a smoke.
I was gonna
smoker
say
home.
that's the nicotine model.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Heathkit, a TV alignment generator. Really covered all the spectrum of vintage electronics at the show. That was kind of neat. Just you don't see them very often. Yeah, this was just a hodgepodge. That's just an interesting photo. It looks more promising than the results. Oh, right. This is, remember the last meeting, this is the guy that had all those neat transistor radios, a plethora of like some were like brand new or hardly used. He had just a bunch of box of tubes. Just I think the snapshot for what it was worth.
TV repairman.
Yeah.
It's
a Zenith.
That's sharp.
It is. Nice and really
I have
nice.
a green one of those.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, it's in pretty nice shape. You can see it has a couple little dings in the metal, but you know, nothing bad.
It's really hard to find one that hasn't gotten dings in that.
Yeah.
You know, that was just like right out there, just waiting to be dented by anything.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. It's probably impossible because there's probably very little to protect that from the back, you know, so it's.
You know, the only time those are like in great shape is like the one that the guy bought and then put it in a closet.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and those are rare.
How do you select the Z frequency?
You got to twist it extra hard.
That's right.
Pair of vice grips or channel lock.
There you go.
So get you over to that Z.
That's a nice logo, isn't it? When you look at a nice big logo right in the center, it's very attractive. Yeah, it's a nice radio. I mean, I can more than live with the minor little things in the metal.
You know, a lot of those portables are pretty sensitive. Some of them had 3-gang, you know, condensers and.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Surprising.
That record player is not very sensitive.
No, I guess not. A symphony.
Is that like a little elementary school type job?
Well, those are the new combs. See, those are the classic ones that were in there. When I grew up, that's what we had in our elementary school, and I mastered that right off the bat. I usually did the AB in the classroom because it was, you know, kind of fun. I figured it out pretty quickly. You know, that and the projector. You know, how to, you know, keep the film.
Were you the kid who always got to like adjust the film strip to the beep?
Yeah, he was very disappointed when they started doing the rumble that made it switch by itself.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yes. But
I forgot about it too. I bought some records one time for it was a Chrysler Mopar, like the dealership training films, and it came with the film strip machine and all that, and I was trying to convert them all to VHS.
Yeah.
And I was using my high fidelity basement man cave stereo system with, you know, 2 15-inch woofers on either side. I totally forgotten about the supposedly inaudible low frequency rumble that would make it auto advance. And the inaudible low frequency was extremely audible on the stereo that I was playing the records on, and it shook the whole house the first time it came to one of those things.
Funny. That's funny. It's a nice
Looks
Zenith.
like a couple of the knobs got broken there, but the case is great.
Yeah, no, it's generally a nice radio.
Yeah, it'd be worth looking
Those are
for
pretty
those.
good
That's a
little
nice
radios
unit.
for what they are.
Yeah. You almost
Now,
always.
John,
It's
isn't that the one
vintage.
you took home? Somebody took that home because it was AM and FM.
That wasn't me. I took home my father though. I did take that, and I showed that last week.
Okay.
I'll see it again. Yeah, no, look, you
That's
almost
what-
always see one of these,
Um,
but
Still has that little Zenith
yeah,
badge
Right.
on it,
yeah, that's the
on
first
the
thing to
speaker
go on
side
these
too. Those
radios,
are
right?
often missing, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought, I think maybe caught my eye. I said,
You know
look,
what happened to the
this
other
looks
two
complete.
knobs? You know, the tuning knob looks okay, but the other two look toast.
Yeah, I guess, but you know,
Yep.
I imagine they made a ton of these. You could find knobs too much of the trouble on these.
Get a couple of nice Panasonic silver ones to put on there.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh.
Get Mike Costa
Yeah.
down at the Delaware Club, Gobs of Knobs.
That's right.
Yep,
Good
gobs of
knobs coming out
knobs.
of
You, you know he's got 'em.
Wazoo down there.
I got to reach out
Pay
to him.
more for the knobs than you pay for the radio, but that's
Got the
not a
little
problem.
got the little civil defense triangles on the
Yeah,
Yep.
ambient. there.
Got the
Yep.
Conrad.
Yeah.
Now you see that little white
Yeah,
dot
that's the
near the
Zenith
100?
channel
That's
up by the one.
correct.
Yep.
Very good.
yeah.
You
No, I
get
think,
a gold star.
yeah. This is generally a looker. Putting the knob issue aside, I thought it was a nice radio. Oh, this was another Zenith.
That wave magnet guy on the top, kind of that early Darth Vader look.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who's my kitty? They have an aggressive cat who just joined me here. So if you're a scream,
Oh,
to
right.
me.
No problem. Oh, here's a little Zenith bookshelf speaker. I know that Roy bought this because he was very happy to get this. And you don't see these too often, actually, the Zenith bookshelf speakers. You know, the Emerson radio. This one looks pretty nice overall, right in front of the speaker, in fact, actually. But, you know, again, that common looking dial face. Generally,
Is that the leatherette version?
yeah, it looks pretty restorable to me. It looks all complete.
Before they had Naugahyde.
Yeah. Oh, an Admiral. This is AM FM as well, interestingly enough. So this has got to be like, you know, late 40s.
Not bad radios. Not bad radios.
Yeah, I thought it was actually rather attractive. I thought the grill face was
Got the
actually rather attractive. This gold.
Somewhat unique, characteristic Admiral style knobs on there.
Yeah.
I used those for quite a few years. Even on the television sets, they had knobs that looked like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Actually, this would look nicer. I mean, white is fine, but if you put this like in black or something like that, it would really offset.
If you strip the cabinet, it might be a very respectable brown Bakelite, you know, if you
Yep.
get some citrus
Yeah.
syrup in. But you just don't want to lose that nice little Admiral, you know, logo in the front. That
Mm.
would be
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You
the
know,
bad part.
but it's a nifty little radio because I don't see this very often. No, it's just an array of radios at some table or another. Wide variety. And
Now, who can tell me anything about that strange tubular
Torpedo.
speaker?
It's like a mortar
Transistor
shell.
it looks like
radio speaker.
yeah, I was thinking it was maybe a speaker just because it's got that
Got the
single
connect-
jack or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's got two plugs though. If you scroll
Oh
a little bit,
yeah, I see it. Oh, you're right. Just got a second one.
because I have one of those and I really don't know what I'm supposed to plug those into. You plug it into two different radios, or like what is that? Is that a left and a right, or?
Interesting. So you're saying there's speakers and you,
hairdryer. Nothing to do with that either.
good question.
It's got two speakers and it's got two plugs. Most of those transistor radios were not stereo, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but two transistor radios are mono. But
Right.
two.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question, because I do have one of those. I haven't ever hooked it up to anything.
I hook it up to
I'm not-
two transistor radios, all tuned differently.
Funny, it looks awesome.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that those aren't two different plugs. I think one is 3/16 and the other one is 1/8 DIN. So I think you've got two different size connectors for that speaker.
Oh,
Oh, maybe you're right, because it just looks a little more.
Maybe
I don't know.
my
Has
wife
better
would never
glasses than
agree,
I
but
do.
once in a while.
It's funny, it looks a lot like a swamp cooler. You know, those ones you.
Right. Well, I think I paid $2 for it. It was pretty cool. And I was like, well, maybe someday I'll connect it to something. I was going to hook it up to the car radio that's on the headboard,
Yeah, that's a curious one. That's a curious one. I think I took some close-ups to some of the guys' radios, in this display in the last photo.
Ooh, AFC.
Silvertone.
AFC, that's not bad for for a mid-ish line, transistor. It's respectable. Get a little dent there though, but not too bad. The scene of something another. Oh, there was another True Tone. This one's not quite as nice as the
A
one.
little foggy.
Yeah, exactly. But that can be fixed. It's fixable. And it's all there. It looks, like you put some
This looks
elbow
good.
grease into it. It'd be a nice.
Some Mark Palmquist, get a new dial glasses. You're all set to get a new plastic piece.
Exactly. Oh, this little Silvertone I thought was rather neat. Silvertone's made a lot of nice radios. They very had nice dial faces.
That's a 50s model, and they made a couple of different styles that are very similar to that case. And some of the AM versions are pretty hot as far as DXing. Those are made by Arvin.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. I keep looking. Every time I see the S, it's a little weaker S, but it looks awful close to the S. The
Studebaker.
Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's right.
They're thinking, Stude. But another Emerson. Nice little portable.
Nice little.
Another, another model you don't see all that often. All there. Looks quite restorable. Oh, an airline. Also a nice little radio. Probably need a little bit of cleanup and be good to go.
John, can I ask you something?
Sure, of course.
Good. I didn't know. That was kind of an audio check. Are there any battery sets anymore at all at these radio shows? I grew up with battery sets, and wow, I don't see a single one. So just a curious question. They don't look very good, but boy, they sure are historic.
Well,
It's hit or miss. I've seen them on occasion, but it's not what I've said.
it's funny. It's a funny thing. I'll see them sometimes, like at Brookline. I will
Yeah,
see.
exactly. Brookline.
You see some. It just depends who's bringing what. I guess would be the question. But
Yeah.
I would say if you went to any of these events, you would at least find a couple.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see, sometimes I will see things that are too old for me, and I would bet those would be things you might.
I think
be
that you're right though. There are more of them at Brookline, and they're also at a much lower price point than they would be if they were here.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary because
I think at this is the type of show where you're more likely to see the Pioneer, Kenwood, Sansui, Marantz, and then sort of our traditional, that stuff that's the real wheelhouse, which is the 30s, 40s, 50s, and some of the 60s stuff, the Panasonics, the Nationals, and sometimes you'll see things that like, and I know, I'll occasionally see things I don't even know what they are. They're so early.
Yeah.
At some of the Brookline shows, because some of the guys have some really great, very.
Hey,
historic
John,
stuff.
can you zoom in on the controls?
Sure. Sure. On this Helicrafters?
Yeah, that's the one. Well, the comment that I have is it's a receiver, and it's could be misleading because it's a microphone on top of it. Just doesn't go together.
There's just a coincidence they put it there.
That's right.
I see. Yeah, I think that's a good observation, Bruce. Yeah. the Zenith, in the less often colored brown. See that a little less often. I know that Bill Jeanette is showing one of those.
That's a battery set, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Those technically, all those TOs are. They're usually AC/DC, I guess. On these. Oh, good, it has the manual too. That's actually rather nice. The Super Deluxe. It's actually nice. It's just that is that the manual?
New.
It is. I want to say, I could be wrong. This may have been Bill's. It was all complete. I mean, really nice. We'll see. I have better photos later. That's that realistic I think I took earlier. Oh, here's a lesser Zenith TO. Very more entry level. So I did 3,000 or forgetting now which model this is. Oh, no, it's a 1,000.
1,000.
That really must be your baseline one if they did go up in numbers. But hey, you know what? That's pretty nice. It has, it's got the whole, world map and, the little compass, still has some respect there. Guess that was yet another one. I think that's a duplicate photo. Occasionally I do that. Nope, definitely a different radio. I occasionally do that, and I apologize.
Logs and charts.
Yeah, but this is, another. Does not play. Okay. That was a no. But, I guess there are plenty. There was just a cadeau. I don't see those very often, but, right out of the 60s. The knob is a little bit problem. It's got a little problem, but it's got a little dial light. It's kind of, it's not a bad looking radio. I don't know who made it, I know about it, but here's a Midland. There was a guy that sold a lot of these style, multi-band radios there. I have a couple of my Montgomery Ward airline radios from the early 70s. That's kind of genre. It's a daily driver. North American.
AC/DC.
There you go. Again, multi-band. Yeah, this table had just lots of multi-band stuff. It's kind of interesting. You see the little, the football helmet, little icons. I thought that was like kind of clever. Police band, air, those are kind of obvious. FM had the the guitar. So they're basically saying you're just listening to games in your AM. But I thought the little pictorial little icons were clever. And it's just a pan out of a wide variety of interesting little radios and particular sellers display.
Got that Crossley little lefty. That's an unusual set in that, the controls and the dial on the left as opposed to the right.
Yes. I might have a better
Sometimes makes people pay more money for them.
Right.
I think it's a Motorola in the back. Those are kind of cool. They have the antenna and the handle.
Yeah, and then I think it's an RCA on the right that the handle comes up, but the antenna spins.
Exactly right.
It spins underneath the yes. Those are cool.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff at this show.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, if any show qualified for that, this was it. It's a little GE portable, kind of, just worth a picture.
All transistor.
There we go.
And another one. This is its white version of the darker one. I liked the other one we saw more. It was a little sharper, but this is still very nice.
Emerson seems to be one of those manufacturers that just looked like, what parts do we have? And well, we'll make it like this,
Yeah.
You see all these same chassis, different cases.
They sure made a lot of them.
Yes, prolific, I think is the term.
Oh, it's a nice little Philco. Thought this was in pretty. I mean, the grill cloth's a little weak, but otherwise a nice more than salvageable, more than restorable radio.
Case is not
Yeah, exactly.
nice. Greg, what's that little hole underneath the
Oh, right here.
dial pointer on that?
Well, that's
Down
a
by about
farm set.
350 on the meters.
It's a
It's a
farm. set.
It's a battery
pump.
radio.
Yeah.
So that would what, when you engage the power, it would turn to a
It
different.
would turn red.
what was
There's
it,
just a
like a
little disc
color?
behind there when you turn
Red.
the
Oh, really?
set
I
on, it
see.
turns red.
Hmm.
Yeah, just to let you know that the radio's on because there's no dial light.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So if you left it on inadvertently in the radio days, you'd
Right.
be out of battery, and that was probably
Mm.
big money when those were produced. Yes.
Oh. It's
Which
always
might be
nice.
why. What's the price on that thing? Usually they're a little less because somebody doesn't have a
No, I'll try and
battery
get
converter.
close.
$40. That's kind of high, but the radio's in good
Yeah.
shape. You know.
I think it's 40 is what they're
You
asking.
just
Any
have to have a way
idea?
to play it.
Any idea why it doesn't say AM and FM on there? There would be some reason.
Probably
It's not-
because it was pre-FM, maybe like late 30s, early
Yeah,
40s.
it's
What do you
about
think, Greg?
39 or
No, it's
40.
got 80, 90, 100.
That's the meters.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in
Yeah,
meters.
they did the
Okay,
meters
I
and
should
then
have
they
known
did the
that.
Meters,
frequency.
right? Yeah, here it is.
on the
Okay,
other side, yeah.
all right. Yeah.
So in case your
Then you
local
kill a thing.
newspaper said it's on 545 meters. It's a good question. There's a lot of sets that do that. Emerson did that too on a lot of them. They'd have like a split dial. It would be in meters and in
Yeah, if it was a
traditional
if it was a
frequencies.
UK or European, I would expect it, but
Yeah.
Psychology, you're getting a little more for your money if you see the meter calibrations on.
Yeah. It's not a very.
Well, they had to put something on the other side of the dial instead of saying like buy more Philcos.
Looks impressive with extra numbers.
What else would you put over there? That's right. How do you fill it?
Yeah.
The dial scale.
FM would have been nice.
There was a period where people did transition from talking about what meters the AM stations were on to what kill cycles. So you see this whole era where it's got
Yeah.
meters on one side and kilocycles on top as people adapted to it.
Right. Exactly.
It was for the old guys, the guys 40, 50, 60, who had grown up with the TRFs.
Like going up with the sets that Mark Vest wants.
Exactly
Growing
right.
up with the sets where the dial scale just said 0 to 100, and you were just supposed to write down on the piece of paper where the stations were.
Exactly right.
But you look at radio listings in magazines and so forth back then. That's what they said, WABC was whatever that was.
Having trouble hearing you.
Well, all those battery sets are,
Sorry.
all those battery sets are kind of historic in that they, predate sort of the whole, rural electrification initiative, sort of
Yeah.
pre-TVA, and, a lot of places down south and out west didn't have what they used to call the high line. So, they used their Sears wind charger, or Zenith had
Oh,
little
yeah.
windmills too. And
There's a wind charger. In
when
fact,
you weren't charging the batteries for your radio, you could charge the batteries for your lights to go milk the cows, in the
Well,
barn.
a lot of them you could use them off a 6-volt car battery. You could take
Yes,
the
you
battery out,
could.
track
Yes,
to
you
the
could.
car and
oh yeah.
Wind and battery is nothing new. Let's put it that way. They're only gated by the technology of the production of the windmills and the batteries to store the power. But yes,
And there were those rare Stromberg Carlson steam powered ones that hardly anyone's ever seen.
steam powered. That's right. I have an Audell's book from about the mid 20s, and at the last chapter, they have an extensive section on the electric
Yep.
car.
Oh, electric
Can you
cars were
imagine
big.
that?
They were competing with
Wow.
the steam
Oh yeah.
and the internal combustion.
There's a nice Livingston RCA. Those are a really nice
Yep.
set. on the left there next
Yeah.
to the Strata World. Those
Yeah,
are cool.
this is Bill's.
Plastic.
Very nice sounding sets.
Plastic versions were a dime a dozen, but those are special.
Humdingers, big
Yeah.
speakers, beauties.
Yeah, it's nice radio. Yes, it's Bill's. That's right. He had the RCA that he was selling. Yeah, I have better shots of that
Yeah,
later.
you know that RCA. There's a guy who was on the Radio Attic, and he has a variety of. I can't speak to the electronic quality of his sets, but he must have hit the jackpot with somebody's estate, because he has pulled out of his hat some really mint looking vintage sets. And one of the things I saw pop up today was one of those RCA Strata Worlds. The chassis looks brand new.
Wow.
It is the cleanest thing I've ever seen. So, you just wonder, about who had this. Why did they just never deal with it? They put it away. How did it stay that nice? But
Mr.
yeah,
Gibbons could also,
those are kind of cool though, with that map. and
Mr. Gibbons
everything.
could
It's
speak to
neat.
the RCA copycats of like the German
Yeah,
radios.
absolutely. The RCA Internationals that we use.
Yep.
They use Gretz, or there was
Yep.
some.
He said he popped one of those up too. So I think he had an estate that was just chock full of this stuff, because cosmetically, I don't think any of them are electronically restored, or at least, generally if somebody doesn't mention anything electronic, they're not. But the condition of the cases, the dials, and then the chassis, they just look great. So he must have recently had somebody contact him, and he bought the whole, as Bruce would say, the accumulation of sets. But yeah, that's a nice one there too. Those are
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And they're good players. Just not too much on shortwave, but the AM is very hot.
Yeah, well, Bill's. I'll show. I think I have a photo of the back. His was very clean inside as well. It's very overall. I give it a pretty, like a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 spread on this. Nice unit.
I recognize Bill. He has the same haircut I do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a close up.
And those dials are very cool when they light on the Livingstons. They
Oh,
are sharp.
Where they light on the outside? Is that what they do?
Yes, on the perimeter under the. Yes. One would be tempted to say sexy at the risk of being viewed some type of a radio lunatic. But yeah,
No, I
they look
like-
sharp.
Something's good to
They
know.
look sharp.
Yeah, it's a nice shape, this one. It's everything, some polishing would probably get you a little bit more out of it. But
Yeah, throw some Howards on there, and I think you'd
Yeah,
be
exactly.
very plantable. No need to
Exactly.
refinish.
more than, I wouldn't be too aggressive on it. He has a little bit better shape with the Strata World here.
Big thing there is, look at the handle is mint. I mean,
Yeah.
that's always a problem area on these.
Yeah, this was a nice unit. Definitely is. And this is yet another Zenith TO. Maybe it's a 1000. That's the inside. You say, it's very tidy inside.
Wow.
That's just pristine. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, if you look carefully at that tuning condenser, that is a 3-gain condenser.
Yeah. Yep.
So, that's the type of thing you want to listen to. WJR 760 out of Detroit. You got the right set.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can see, Bill was mentioning he bought this from somebody he knew, and and you can see, I mean, this thing is crisp. You're
And,
getting,
the weird thing is, and there might be just extra tubes. He's got a couple of tubes under the tuning condenser that I don't think belong there. but
Yeah,
maybe they come
that's
with
a question I had. They would heat up the veins of the
The
capacitor.
diagonal
No, I
tubes
think
are
those might just be some.
bears.
Though I have never had one. I mean, I could be mistaken,
I don't know.
but I don't
Let's see
think
what I-
those are.
Yeah.
Might just be some extra tubes. He popped
Yeah,
in
Spare
there.
spare storage. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you may be right. It did seem a little unusual to,
I think that's the tuning section. I think those are the detector and tuner.
fix that.
Even the connection, to like the ferrite antenna, and of course it has the golden throat
Whoop. Sorry, I
Yep.
I'm
Feature there,
advancing
which is
prematurely. There we go. Yeah, but just this, you can see all the stickers, everything is all complete, you know, and looks like it's, you know, pretty close to mint. You know, I thought I was pretty impressed by that.
well, and it was serviced by Dave's TV. So I mean, what do you want?
There you go. When in
Look,
doubt.
look at,
Dial 21731. Call Dave.
And you could see the two tubes to the left of the schematic. Those are the two diagonal tubes.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
you know, maybe some of you can see that, but I, you know, I'm lucky I can see the
Yep, that's
antenna.
it.
There you go. Nope.
Yeah, you could
Interesting
see them.
layout, huh? Very strange, but
Maybe.
A one volt tube is not gonna throw off a lot of heat.
Wait, say it again?
Wow.
The
The one volt tube is not gonna throw off much heat.
Hmm.
the tuning vanes are temperature compensating.
There we go.
Carl said a 1 volt tube is not throwing off a lot of heat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Right.
Oh,
So maybe that's just the way they built them. I mean, it's a little bit unusual, but it's the way it was. Because I've never actually seen the inside of one of these until now. And now that we inspect at it more carefully, it looks like, you know, that's where they stuck them. Ah, well, explain, because there's could only really see one or
I
two.
would imagine those holes.
Sorry, you gonna say something, Greg?
Yeah, the holes I think are where the selenium rectifier probably is.
Hmm.
You know, all the holes in the chassis, those little
Yep.
holes.
Yeah.
That probably was for the selenium rectifier.
Ah,
so that when it fried, you could really smell it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta let the stink out.
yeah, yeah. I've never actually had the pleasure of smelling one go off, but I've heard that they're pretty awful smelling.
It's nasty.
So I'm waiting. Eventually it'll happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Well, the thing that really frightens me is what happens after the smell. You know, what else does it toast? You know, because
Well,
it's
hopefully you
gone,
got a fuse.
Yeah.
voltage limitation there. It'll probably cost an extra 3 cents to put the fuse in. So
Well, the Germans were good about putting the fuse in. Columbia.
Actually, sorry, I'll back that up again.
This one for you,
there was a
huh?
question about Jack. It's
that's where your mom worked.
headphones.
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 Here we go.
Oh,
So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a regular quarter jack back then.
Yeah, it's a quarter jack, quarter-inch phone jack.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go back, as Carl was asking about that, and then we know. Yeah, that was Bill's Columbia. Yes. Yes. Fine, getting rid of that. Oh, maybe this is Jeff. Maybe it's Jeff.
Another feat of engineering on that phonograph. See where the power cable came out
Yeah.
of the deck.
The top.
right after the arm.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but also if you scroll down towards the speed control, you notice that it's just got 3 positions and there's no neutral position. So every single one of these has a big flat dead spot where the rubber wheel has a big dent in it. So you always have to replace that.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Otherwise, when you start it up again, you get thump, 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 thump,
Thump,
thump,
thump,
thump
yeah.
when you're trying to
Yeah.
listen to something. But those have the pop-up 45 spindle
Yeah, it's got the
integrated
adapter
into
there,
the turntable.
That's something. Yeah.
It's got the same little 1-tube amplifier with the tone control and the on-off volume as my junior jukebox from same vintage.
Oh yeah.
Same knobs are just a different color. They're gray instead of red.
Oh, okay. Neat. Up one of these selected antennas.
Magic.
Magic, it is.
They are magic. I mean, you
Might have
can't
been Jeff's
underestimate. I have one of those and I have a Turk, and you know, boy, do they add a lot to a little 5-tube or a 6-tube set. I was playing a 7-tube Panasonic set, probably about mid-60s tonight, and I thought there was some type of an electronic problem, and then I tried the just from the inductive point of view, I just put the Turk behind it, and the AM kicked up 10 times better. So I'm thinking I have some kind of an antenna problem as opposed to an electronic problem. But those were the originals, and they made them somewhere up in Wisconsin, and those are you find
Yep.
them on eBay, and they really enhance the performance of any loop antenna 40s and 50s set. Nice little devices.
Yeah, I'm
Not big,
it's Jeff's table because
but
he always
nice.
seems to sell a bunch of these. They seem to go.
Good helpers for your AM.
This was the silent auction.
Now
radio.
you're talking.
There you go. Look at that. There you go.
Yeah, Aladdin.
The antenna went up. The Aladdin Superbox.
I've never seen one. I've seen hundreds of these things, and I've never seen an Aladdin. I so wish they'd show the top up.
Oh, I should have taken it. I didn't take it. I'm sorry, Mark. I was afraid to rub it because I'm afraid of
Oh,
genies.
that's all right. I'll be on Google looking that thing up tonight.
Yeah, it was
Super
actually
5.
very unusual radio, and I forgot who donated it. I just don't remember who did, but yeah, but I have pictures of who won it. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, John, I donated.
Sorry.
I
This is
donated.
about.
Oh, I
This
apologize.
is about as TRF. Oh,
Yeah,
this is
if
about
you want,
a-
I've got pictures. If somebody's interested in pictures, I can send you.
Oh, the
pictures.
inside.
I'll-
Is that you, Bob?
Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of pictures on that printed out piece of paper to the lower right.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It does. This is about as TRF as you can get.
The lower right came from radiomuseum.org.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
But
I'll go
if you're
there.
interested in pictures of the radio, I've got several.
Oh, okay.
I would love an inside shot. I would love to see the tube complement and the air caps.
I
Bread slicers.
regret not doing that. I guess I should have in retrospect. I'm always a little afraid to touch.
Can you put your, if you put your email, can you put your email into the chat and I'll send them to you?
Oh, to Mark Vest. You go Vest
Done.
Museum. Vest Museum Tech, isn't it? No, Vest.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. Vest Museum Tech at AOL, but I'm gonna try to chat. What is it? Oh, here it is. Oh.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. By the way, I saw your message. Yeah, this is the first one I've ever seen. I forget who donated this to our silent auction. Neat stuff. And in retrospect, I usually am reluctant, especially if the person's not there. I don't usually like to play around, open up radios unless the person's there for me to ask them. So it's kind of, now I didn't know who donated, so that's why you don't need to go on the outside. Even though it probably wouldn't be safe for me to do it without asking, but Oh, here's how I forgot I took a little bit better photo here of just from 1926.
There's the tube complement.
There you go. So at least there's something. I forgot I took that.
Wahoo!
Do it again. You want to? Oh, sure. Let me just back up one so Carl can see the dial.
Shouldn't be too hard to remember the tube complement.
501s.
How's that there, Carl? Yeah, there we go. By the way, Bob, there's Mark's email address. That's
It begins VESS. That's for Mark.
yeah,
That's me.
wavelength.
Vest Museum Tech at AOL.com. All data and pictures. Welcome.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to for Carl's benefit, so you can have a closer look at this thing. since this is an unusual piece for us to enjoy.
That's an unusual piece for me too.
Yeah, no, once in a
Oh,
while.
go back to the center dial. That's interesting. You can see it's got much finer graduations than the other dials do. And I'm going to suspect that that's probably the more critical tuning stage of, in other words, that's where you'd start. But look, it's done in meters. It's actually calibrated in meters.
Yes, yes.
I've never seen that either. That's supposed to be a 1 through 100 deal, you know, in most sets. I think that's fascinating. So you could start, if you knew where your station was, you could start right there and then work the left one, which is the antenna side, input side, and then work the right one, which is the final coupling to your audio. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Someone got a really neat, unit. It's radios, And I forgot the guy's name who won it. But of course we saw that. Oh, here's a nice Silvertone that was donated. Beautiful. Even the dial that really took the name to to heart there. But the black and silver always looks good. Yeah, very sharp radio. Got who donated that as well. This I know. I'm pretty sure Howard donated this. What a nifty little RCA Victor. Very attractive little radio. Look at the cabinet, just sharp. And Alex, I think Alex Hopper won this radio. Alex, we've seen emails from him from time to time. He's not one of our members on the Cape. Just a beautiful little radio. And there was another one. There was an RCA Victor that was also on the silent auction, if I recall. I think. Yes, it was. So another really nice piece. And I believe, was this a Wilco, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Which model?
Model 60 probably.
Oh yeah, thank you. Another shot. I'm not sure why I took two, but I got two out of it. Oh yeah, this is kind of neat. This is donated an electronic snap kit. This looks kind of fun, for kids. That was also part of the silent auction. I think Bruce's son, Ross, won that. Oh yeah, it's a nice little Emerson that was a nifty little unit. Very attractive. Sorry, Greg?
I think it's a Plascon cabinet.
Oh,
Molded solid white.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And here's another, this Helicrafters. Quite sharp, almost pristine.
The Helicrafters.
It was the, not just Helicrafters. That's right. My faux pas. But, beautiful with manuals. So that was really quite sharp. And
The Helicrafters Company.
That's right. That is true. And just a milling about shots.
Whoa.
This was, you've seen these before. These, these knockoff. They sort of supposed to look like a TO, but they're got a telephone and other things in there. It's from, I think it's probably from the 80s, I'm guessing. 80s or 90s. Oh, I thought it was someone had a nice stack of Radio Boys or related books. It just took a shot. I guess it was nice to see some books just nicely stacked up there. Some oscillator and buffer coils, if you're looking for any. The boxes were worth a shot. They're just very attractive. Oh, Hammerland. One. And oh yeah, this gentleman here. He always has lots of these style units, most exclusively at his table. I got the member's name because he's there all the time, every meet. Oh yes, This
There it is.
There it is. And speaking of Jersey City, it is. This is the Magic. See what
Radio that soothes your spirit.
That is from the Radio Development and Research Corporation, Jersey City 4, New Jersey. I think it's what the Model 504. It's got the Magic Tone. Magic Tone Model 504, if I remember. This is from like
that was great.
Beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. This was
you could see all the tubes inside.
Yeah.
If you got a shot from the back or the side.
Yeah, in retrospect, I probably should have. But what a nifty and
it was amazing.
Yeah, and this one I think the late 40s, if I recall. Really neat. This guy had a lot of neat stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And there was the see-through, you know.
There's all the loose sight in the building was with this guy.
Yeah. It was neat. Yeah, a lot of unusual stuff at this table. In fact, there's one where you see that unit right there, the carrying case one right behind as well. I didn't catch that the first until now. Ah.
Oh yeah.
And anybody know what the clear case TRF was going for?
Oh, no idea. I don't know if there's a price tag that I can spot.
No, as soon as I saw the price tag on that one, I ran away.
Oh, I would so love to have that.
Three Stitches episode.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a
I'm gonna have to make one of those.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he's got the other lucite one behind it with the little handle sticking up.
I didn't catch it. I'm kind of mad at myself. You know, sometimes you look at photos more carefully later, you realize, oh, I missed another photo op. But yeah, that was really neat. This guy has a really.
That looks like a newer radio anyway.
Yeah, it could be. He has some neat stuff.
That thing's beautiful.
Isn't it? No.
A radio museum in a case.
Nice right angles and.
It's just begging to be in Mark's museum. But I'll have the Spartan Bluebird. It's a bona fide. You can see me taking a photo, you know.
Wow.
But what if I have a better picture of the dial face than this? But yeah, this is going for 2,500, which you know probably about right. I mean,
price.
Sorry.
Yeah. I said that's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, it's not. I mean, considering what these command, you know, the only thing that's a little bit weak is the grill cloth, but otherwise, it's really in quite nice shape. It's a better, you know, quite a beautiful, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I said, the grill cloth, it's weak spot. But and of course, our member George. I pronounce his last name, George K. from Maine has got one. He's sent out over email for in case anyone wants to look for one. And chances are George always has really good taste in radios. I'm sure he bought that 20 years ago. He said you know, he might restore it, you know, but then still put it up for sale. And I think he's asking more, but chances are it's a really nice radio. He always had his radios are always really nice. He always has those unusual European radios as well. Like French radios, so forth. Some neat microphones and so forth. There was lots of microphones throughout.
Ooh, did you get the Fisher?
Ooh.
Sorry?
Did you get the
I can't
Fisher?
remember.
The Fisher to the left?
Oh, let's see. Let's see if I will check. I sometimes forget just because I take so many photos.
Ooh,
This was neat, wasn't it?
yep,
The Fisher. What a neat and beautiful system.
the gold Cascode.
Yeah, huh?
Great part of a mono system if you had that sitting on top of a preamplifier, sitting on top of a power amplifier, going to a single mono, I don't know, Bozak or some bizarre old speaker. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's actually eye catching. Right? You know, this looks, I could be wrong, you know, but this looks like, you know, no newer than early 50s, right? I mean, this is late 40s, early 50s stuff, right?
Yep.
You know, very attractive. It was worth, that's why I wanted to get a shot. They're just, I love the needles and all. And it's just everything just really, for some reason, it just sort of has nice aesthetics. This was neat. This was on top of that. Not sure exactly what this really is, but
Waiting for Paul to say something.
oh, Paul dropped off. He had to drop. Like, I'll probably be wrapping up in the next few minutes since I've run
Oh, okay.
overrun our time a bit.
The big metal thing
Look at this thing.
sitting on top of a nice wooden cabinet.
Yeah, look at this thing. This is a hunk of metal.
This would be a toaster, and you could actually put pieces of bread on either side, and the filigree fancy decoration pulls down so you can put the toast in. And if you notice that the toast holder has two sides, and I believe this is the model that you pull down, flip the whole grill over, and stick it back up again so you can toast two pieces of toast at once. I don't know if it has the back part.
I'm not sure.
But I think that part pulls down, and I think it swivels around, and I think you put it back up in place. It looks very much like one I have in the museum.
Wow. But you know, this guy actually, this vendor did have a few toasters. So, you know, I said, wow, this is as early a toaster and as kind of cool a toaster as you're gonna find. You know, so they really cover, we cover the whole gamut. If you're looking for an early American toaster, this is the place to go. Yep, here's another one. This one's a little bit more mundane by comparison, but nevertheless still a neat toaster.
I have never seen anything like that. Can you zero in on the control? Is that really a toaster? That is fascinating. Oh, look at that, it is. I'll be darned. That is the most unusual. Oh, look at the lever on the left. There's your pop-up lever, your pull-down lever. All right, and you can see the two electrical prongs on the right. I would so love to have that in the museum.
We should.
Holy smokes.
We needed you over here, Mark. You would have been coming home with, we probably would have needed a pickup to take all the stuff home that you would have liked.
I'd also need a porta bed out in the barn here, because that's where the wife would put me.
Right. Yep, the microphone. Oh, this might have been another Crosley. Yeah, this one's not as nice.
That's a different one.
Yeah, it is, because you can tell so it looks a little bit newer. Yeah, plus the case on it, it's nice.
And actually the price is about right for what these things are going for these days. I have 4 different versions of that same radio, some with different model numbers, but they all have the same basic things. Single tube or 2-tube. I think that's the single tube version. And no, I think it's the twin tube. And a very reliable, very usable regen set. I've actually set that up for DX with some antenna tuning and my 200 footer and the good pipe ground, and it works quite well. It's a very sensitive regen. I'll put it that way.
Interesting.
I have a Crosley 51-S.
Oh, yeah, no,
I've
it's,
never hooked it up.
You know how
what-
many tubes it is?
No, I don't,
Okay,
actually.
yeah. Look inside, pop the cover. If it's anything like that one, it's got the twin tubes. It's a reasonably sensitive set for what it is. It's
Yeah, if I didn't have 15 nipper salt and shakers sitting on top of it, I would look now, but I can't.
There you go. Oh, this Motorola. That's unusual. Look at that. It's unusual cabinet with all this beading.
Yeah.
That was unusual. You know, certainly, you know, it's probably definitely a 50s style behavior. Maybe it was like mid to late 50s. But this reminds you too much of, you know, John, you'd appreciate this, Noah, like the 58
No, it's not-
grill, you know, just make it crawl.
Yep.
But,
Oh, yeah.
it's nice
but,
radio that the swap meet.
well, this is the
Oh, wow, Rick.
Racal. Oh, some pretty, I guess these are desirable or
$150.
uncommon because obviously the price reflects it. Scott, the Stradivarius of radio.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
Love that icon. It's
cool.
a good looking center.
Look at all the knobs you have to go up to find.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's 10 different shafts there. And when the one in the middle, I think, is actually 2 shafts.
Coarse and fine tuning.
Yeah. I just love that dial face, so it's worth the shot alone. But there's where it belonged to. Just needs the rest of the stuff. There's, oh, look at that. So there is.
No, well, at least it had the front.
There's the front.
I mean, it has a little bit of that, you know, the chrome chassis look
Yeah.
of the, I'm trying to think of the name now.
McMurdo Silver. Is that right?
No.
McMurdo
What the
Silver.
heck is the name? I'm thinking of the name of the radio that I have
Scott.
downstairs. The Scott, yeah. Yeah, the other Scott. I can't remember the name of the thing.
didn't the McMurdo Silver have a whole ton of tubes just like
Yep.
this one? Anybody know what the tube count is?
Because the Scott I'm thinking of also has a separate chassis that has the audio and the power.
Yeah, I actually know
Separate.
that radio. I don't have one. I'd like to have
You know,
one.
the 15 or the I've got a 15. The all wave 15.
Hmm.
Is that
Yep.
15 tubes? Yeah.
Anymore? No, I don't anymore. Oh,
Wow, that's nice.
look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful radio.
And it's got a pair of 2A3s in push pull for the audio. It's an
Yeah,
amazing sounding receiver.
yeah, it's considering the size. Oh, this Coronet. I thought this was again an unusual radio. You know, it does always look like a chair side, doesn't it? In its own way.
Yeah, you can read it in either direction.
Yeah, I thought it was unusual. And, you know, well worth a shot because you don't see these very often. That's really the theme of this show. Was a lot of stuff you don't see normally showed up. Oh, lots of transistors. Whole wide variety.
Boulevard.
I see it. I see at least 2 I could walk away with.
Ah, I see, boy. Mark, you would have You'd probably be sleeping in your barn, but you would have come home a happy man.
Well, it's getting warmer out.
Yeah, that's right. It's a Panasonic.
Oh, wow.
Space age.
A little bit rough though. That was in nicer shape.
Yeah.
This was kind of neat. It was just because I kind of liked the look of it in its own way. It's very 60s, comes screaming 60s, you know. So it almost looks like they're a little instrument sitting on top of the speaker radio with a built-in light. That was actually in its own way. If you cleaned it up, it actually made kind of a neat. You had like that kind of style in your house, late 60s, early 50s. That's kind of.
Is that the Longines Symphonette?
It is. It is, so they claim.
Yeah, look at that, the Longines
Yeah.
Symphonette.
I just, I thought it was kind of cool in its own way. Look at it screams late 60s, Got to have the old mechanical flipper. Actually, I kind of have a warm spot for one of these. I used to have one when I was a kid at Panasonic. And to this day, and I look back and say, I should never got rid of that. It was like that little
Harvest Gold.
Yeah, this one's mine portion was that faux wood, plastic with the faux wood look on it, which was at least a little more palatable. But yeah. I have no idea what this is, what this thing does, but it's some sort of amp or something, I assume. Guitar amp or amp.
Amplifier, probably around 12 watts, something like that. It almost looks like it could be solid state or tube.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just
the phono jack up top. I'm gonna say it's tube.
I think it's just a preamp.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, that could be.
Could be. But yeah, I saw it. I said, "This neat." Table had a wide variety of stuff, just so to take a pan out there, you see all some of the stuff. It took a closer shot up, but and a Seabird background music compact.
Disaster.
Yeah, but well, guys, maybe I should do is end the meeting here. I ran over anyway. I could do
good stuff.
It was good stuff. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. I know what the feeling is. I took a lot of photos, and there's more to show. I could cut it off here and switch topics at the next.
One more time.
You want to do one more time and finish the rest? We could do it.
No, I mean one more time, one more meeting. Finish the rest in the next meeting because I'm sure you have plenty to do a whole nother meeting.
Yeah, because I mean, I could.
Nice job.
If you guys enjoy, I mean, to me, it's fun to look at this and talk about it in more detail. So
I've seen plenty of things that I wish I had seen when I was there that I spent too much time in my own booth, so I missed a lot of this. So this has been great.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll be happy if you guys.
Anybody?
Happy to.
Anybody?
Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Notice the record cleaner that is to the right of the record.
Oh yeah.
There's a little you can see the two brushes.
Yeah.
I've never seen that on a phonograph before in my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh no. All the Seabird jukeboxes have that kind of a mechanism because it's got two different needles because it has to play the top side of the record or the bottom side of the record. So you've got two needles that you have to clean off.
Brushes come.
That's why you've got.
So those brushes come together.
No, the phone. If you saw the arm, if the arm swung out from underneath, it's hidden from view right now. But it's thick enough with the two. It's a cartridge that has two styli, I guess, or styli, however you pronounce it. But there's an upper and a lower, and they're that far apart. So each one of them gets brushed off every time in between every record.
Fascinating. That's the coolest turntable I've seen. John, thank you very much. It was an awesome job.
Oh, glad you guys enjoyed it. Well, if you guys, I'm happy to then on the next meeting, which should be mid-April, right around the corner, we'll pick up and hopefully knock off the rest of them. There was a lot of photos, and I'm glad you're enjoying them. It's fun.
Great.
Things. Well then, with that, we'll let you guys go.
All right, thank you.
Great seeing you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your upcoming weekend, and we'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
Thank you, John. It was great.
Thank you.
You
Thanks,
bet.
John.